TG Geeks, episode 250, December 2nd, 2019. Life, the universe, and everything. Hello and welcome to another webcast from tggeeks.com, where Ben and Keith, the Two Gay Geeks, talk about all aspects of geekdom and nerdery. Sci-fi, comics, film, horror genre, you name it, we talk about it. I'm Keith Lane. We're coming to you from TG Squared Studios in lovely, cooled off, actually cold Phoenix, Arizona, for this 250th episode.
And I'm Ben Raggington thinking, where the heck did all this time go? 250 already?
250 already.
I am stunned.
It is amazing. And we have a kind of a special treat.
This one is really appropriate.
Yeah, so we're going to get on with this here.
Prepare for hyperdrive.
Meanwhile, in the Hall of Episodes, the Two Gay Geeks are discussing this.
Well, in this episode, we have a real treat because, amazingly enough,
I know,
this was our very first interview, the first person that we ever interviewed. Up until that point, we'd done just crazy stuff. Just talked. And the show was kind of interesting, but we finally figured out where we were going. I can't remember which episode it was, but it was 5 years ago.
Yeah, it was very early on.
We talked to Gini Koch, and we are talking to her again in celebration of our 250th episode, and that's what the life, the universe, and everything is about, because she's just going to talk about everything that's going on with her right now. We got our birthday shout-outs, our featured podcast of the week, everybody's favorite feedback. We'll have a few shout-outs. And in our second segment, we are going to talk about a couple of things that we did this weekend. Wow, what an amazing Black Friday we had.
Yeah.
Although, we didn't go shopping, though.
No, but it was more like a white Friday.
It certainly was.
It really was. You'll hear why.
Exactly. And we have our weekly recap and our regular shout-outs. And I think we should just get on with this show. And we welcome back to our show Ms. Gini Koch, who is author extraordinaire, always awesome. Tell us what you do, Gini.
Hello, it's great to be back here. I am the author of the Alien Katherine Kitty Katt series for DAW Books, which is part of Penguin Random House. I also write the Necropolis Enforcement Files series, the Alexander Outland series, the Martian Alliance series, and many, many, many other things.
Yes.
So I do it all, and I write under 7 pen names, so I do it all in different names in every genre.
Every genre, absolutely.
And
every
multiple
genre.
personalities.
Every
multiple
dang
personalities,
genre.
exactly. Yeah, so the reason we are talking to you again is because, you know, you were our very first interview that we ever did on this show.
Interview number one,
way back, long years ago. And we're coming up on that anniversary, and this is our 250th episode, so we wanted to do something special and talk to you and say, how you doing?
Thank you.
Since we've missed you now.
That's awesome.
You're
I
over
miss you guys too.
on the other end of the continent here.
Now, one of these days, we're going to have to bring the mobile unit, go to Atlanta, and then do another drinking episode.
Yeah, there we go.
Totally.
We have to do that.
Totally. Because those were so much fun.
Oh, yeah.
And I even kind of blurrily remember them.
I suppose.
Because, I mean, we would start recording after, like, the second bottle of wine,
right,
usually.
And still work another bottle of wine.
And then hopefully we didn't have any home disasters.
Oh my God,
that
like that
caused
last
dinner
time.
to not be cooked.
Well, this time, if you do it out here, I mean, this time the HUDs can make the drinks.
Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah.
we have to do this.
And I would gladly step into your kitchen and cook dinner.
Oh, that would be fun.
yeah.
I have double ovens, double
Ooh.
microwaves, and double refrigerators.
Okay,
Yay.
now see he's about to have an orgasm. What I'm going to say. There it is.
Anyway, so how?
That's the right word.
Yeah. How is Atlanta? How are you doing there?
You know, it's nice. It was I'm going to be honest. Moving from the Southwest to the Southeast was a huge adjustment, especially because it was not necessarily a move we were making by choice, but because my husband's job said, "Hey, do you like the paycheck and benefits? Like the folks you work with?" And he said, "Yes." They said, "Awesome, you're going to do it in Atlanta, or you're not going to do it anymore." So he said, "We."
Okay.
But it has a very large, not only a large author community, but a large arts community. So it's a really nice big city. It's very multicultural, which is really great, especially because we're originally from Los Angeles.
Right.
So we were used to everybody of all of, the whole world is in LA, basically.
Right, exactly.
Just like the whole world is in New York. And it feels like the whole world is in Atlanta. And it's really nice. It's nice to be back in that in that kind of atmosphere. And it is very pretty. It's a different kind of pretty from the desert, and I love the desert. So before everybody goes, well, of course it would be. I think the desert is gorgeous. So
Right.
It's very green, and I can tell that I've adapted to it now. Our first year here, there was just too dang much green. I mean, I didn't know there were this many shades of green, other than in the Crayola box, the big box, the 112 color box.
Right. Exactly.
So,
now you got the
yeah,
164.
Oh my God! Yeah, you can do 112 colors of green. It turns out. And I kind of judge San Diego Comic-Con for how I'm feeling here. And my first Comic-Con, it was after moving here, so that was last year's. I just wanted to get home, and home was absolutely Atlanta, and so that was good. It was a great con. I was just tired, and I was just ready to go home,
Right.
and that was good. And this year, when I got out there, I'm looking around San Diego, which has, for my entire life, always looked incredibly lush and beautiful. And I'm just like, wow, was the drought really bad down here? And they're like, no, it's typical rainfall. I'm like, oh. It just looks bad because I'm now used to 85,000 different trees and a million colors of green,
Exactly.
and it doesn't look like that. So
Yeah, and the stinky
I was
magnolias.
glad that I'd adjusted in that way.
Yep.
So.
And those stinky magnolias. I hate those trees. I hate
there
those
aren't
trees.
a lot of magnolias here. Everything grows really well, but magnolias, I think, they're not in my neighborhood. Let me just put it that way.
Yeah.
I haven't seen many. I shouldn't say that. Where I live, there are 6 small communities that make one big community.
Right.
And one of them has magnolias between each residence.
Oof.
But that's the one farthest away from me, and I never go there. So there are magnolias. I never see them.
Yeah. Anyway, so that and Steve is doing okay, I suppose, and
Yes, he is. He likes it out here too. It's like, we miss everybody.
Yeah.
We miss the Southwest. We miss our friends and family that are there. We moved my mother-in-law in with us though earlier this year, and that's been really nice because that's like, okay, we've got family.
Yeah, there
family's
you
with
go.
us, and that honestly makes it feel much more like home with Mom here with us. So that's been nice.
yeah.
And we're doing a big thing for Thanksgiving this year, which is fun. Last year we didn't because we didn't know enough people, and
Right.
this year we do. So I'm excited
Well,
about
that's
that.
cool.
It's normalizing into this is where we live, and when I think about in the future when we downsize, I'm thinking about areas in Atlanta versus coming across the country again. In no small part because moving across the country, and now I've done it twice in 2 years because I moved my mother-in-law out. Steve stayed home and worked, and I moved Mom out. I've done 2 cross-country moves. I'm done. I love all y'all.
Yeah.
Y'all can come out here. I am not going back because it was hell.
You've expended
on
the
earth,
cross-country
and I did
move.
it twice. Yeah, no, the trip out with my mother-in-law was great. That's where you got my dispatches
Right.
from, restaurants on the road, which
Yeah.
I still actually owe you some.
Really?
But so that part was really fun. But the one where we did it with 4 dogs and 2 cats in a rental camper, we were racing both the moving van and the car van. So that was not the most fun. And I love Texas, but damn, is that you wake up? Where are we? We're still in Texas. You go to sleep, you wake up again. Where are we? We're still in Texas. We never.
Exactly.
It's like Texas is so big. It takes up so much of the country when you're taking that route that it was just like, when will we ever leave Texas?
Trust me,
They're
I
really
know.
nice people. It's really pretty.
I mean,
but when will we leave?
Yeah, I drove from
I don't
San
need to
Antonio, and I drove to El Paso. It took an entire day
Yes.
to get from San Antonio to El
Yeah,
Paso.
we left.
So
Yeah.
it's
Oh, yeah. We left
craziness.
from Tucson to get to El Paso, and
Yeah.
it was like we were so relieved we were staying with friends that are family there because it was exhausting. We spent 2 days there. We didn't leave the house.
Yep.
Like, what do you want to do? I said, I just want to eat your cooking and sit here. I don't want to get in a car.
Yeah.
I don't want to do anything. So that was, so it was really fun. Yeah, our country is huge and beautiful, so it's fun to do that. But I don't really want to do it again. And
Right.
twice in 2 years was more than enough.
Yeah.
I really feel for the folks that are moving on a regular basis, military
Oh,
people
Lord,
in
God.
the type of sales jobs where you're bounced around. That takes a special mindset, and I don't have it.
Exactly.
I like to set roots.
Yep.
And besides,
Yeah.
I like to have a nice, comfortable home and have it nicely decorated the way that I like it. And it takes time to get that settled feeling and create your own environment, and to constantly have to uproot and move someplace else is just it's disruptive.
Right. I really do not. I don't know how families do it, and yet all of our military does it.
Oh, yeah.
And they do it willingly, which is even more, shocking. I think they deserve as many kudos for that as they do for the active service.
And a lot of times
moving
it's
around,
every
how
couple
hard
of
it is
years.
on everybody is just,
Yeah.
amazing.
So other than that, just having a wonderful time in Atlanta, what else are you doing?
I'm working on all the things that I need to be working on. So whatever editors are listening, I'm beavering away at what I owe you. I am, actually. So for everybody who's going, I don't know when this is airing. So for everybody who's going to say, where the hell is Book 17, Aliens Like Us?
There's a Book
making it
17
good.
coming out?
Oh, Keith.
Yes, there is. I don't know when. I don't have a date because I'm not done fixing it yet. But,
let's say
that one needed to be fixed.
Let's say sometime before the sun burns out. Well, does that work?
I like that. Well, Amazon. Here's the funny thing: Amazon changed the date to 2080. Right? And everybody's like,
Oh, my.
We know you're late, but surely you can't be that late. I said, I think the reason Amazon does that is once they get books, I'm not the only person late. Looking at you, George R. Martin, and Patrick Rothfuss, and a few other people. I'm not the only person that's late, okay? But you've got to figure there's a point where Amazon goes, let's just put it back to the publisher gives us a definitive date. Otherwise, we have to have somebody constantly checking these things. You put it to 2080, surely it'll show up before then, right?
Well, we would hope.
I want to make
hope.
the joke. I want to make the joke, though, that Amazon is aware of my timeline and they're accurate. They're not. So, but it's funny to me that they do that. But it makes very logical sense.
Right.
But yeah, so people are like, is it really going to be that late? Yeah, I'm going to write it from the grave.
Yep.
On the grave. I'm gonna. I'm waiting for that level of inspiration.
I'm just waiting for 2076 because it's my goal to live to see the tricentennial. I'll be 112.
Ooh, I like that.
Or 116,
I like that.
but
I plan to live well. I'm going to quote Woody Allen here. I don't wish to achieve immortality through my work. I wish to achieve immortality through not dying.
Yeah, that sounds like me.
Yeah, that's my goal. So I can't speak for the rest of you, but I mean, with the advances being made in science every day, it's
you never
more
know.
and more possible.
You never know.
So
exactly,
you really don't. So, well, pretty sure it was Frederick Pohl who wrote the Gateway series, and he predicted how we talk in text.
Really? Wow.
Decades before we had cell phones to use to talk in text.
Well, look at Dick Tracy.
Yeah, so I mean, what man can imagine, man can create.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah, we have the talking wrist watches now.
Yeah. The only thing they need to do is put
I don't want a shoe phone.
Yeah.
I really don't want a shoe phone.
No.
I would still want my jetpack though.
Yeah.
I'm really still pissed.
And I'm waiting for I'm waiting for the mass proliferation of flying cars.
Exactly. Yeah.
I don't want flying cars because I've seen how most people out there drive.
That
but
is
I want
true.
a jetpack.
Yeah.
Well, see, that's when I need my artificial intelligence overlords in order to come in and be able to drive my car for me.
I would give you that driverless flying cars I might be okay with.
Yeah.
I'm not actually, we're split in the household. You'll pry my cars out of my cold dead fingers, right?
Yeah.
Wait for driverless cars. I'm like, what's wrong with you? He's like, I don't want to have to worry about it. I'm like, I've seen too many episodes where the machines take over. I will be driving my manual transmission car so that no one can get me.
Oh, so she's going old school, manual transmission.
Yeah. I've got automatic, but I also have manual. Kitty's car in the series is actually my car.
Yeah.
Okay, there we are.
Yeah.
So that.
Yeah. So, and every time I take it in, the mechanics offer me money for it, and I say,
Are you kidding me?
So,
no, I'll keep it. Thank you.
No, it's a museum piece.
It's hard to find a manual transmission anymore.
Not only, but it's in great shape because I still work from home, and
well, you work for home too, so
wow.
Right. So the cars just don't get the mileage on them that they could, and so it's in great shape.
Yep.
Well,
that's the way Ben's car is.
Yeah, I work several days from home every day.
His just goes back and forth to work 2 or 3 days a week, and
the rest of the time it's in the parking lot.
You hadn't even got 6,000 miles on it.
No,
it's 2 years old.
No, not even 6,000.
Right, exactly. So so most of our cars are much lower mileage than they do.
But my Forester has lots of miles because it's the vacation and the
work
entertainment car.
Yeah.
So when we go to L.A. or to Southern California or back to Oklahoma or whatever, that's the car we take. So it has all of the mileage on it.
Yes, but it's so drivable now.
Oh, yeah. Oh, with the adaptive cruise control. Oh, my God. Subarus.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. It literally drives itself.
Yeah, it's going to be fun driving back to Oklahoma for Christmas with that car.
Yeah,
because we haven't done that
before.
Not with that Subaru yet. That'll be enjoyable.
That'll be fun. So that's our Christmas trip. Hopefully that will happen.
Hopefully.
Yep.
Yeah.
Hopefully some disaster doesn't happen here soon.
Anyway.
Yeah.
So.
And people are like, I thought she wrote books. Why are they on travel logs?
Yeah. Well, we're going to we're going to go up 17, and we're going to in Flagstaff. We're going to put more fuel in, and then we head off to Albuquerque. And Albuquerque is a wonderful city. You should try, Bob. Oh, did I go off in the travelogue podcast?
I've been there. I actually have been there. I've actually been all over the country, so I can talk to it.
Yeah.
But,
and I've been down to your area.
People are probably like, let's get back to why ever in the world you called this woman as opposed to traveloguing.
That's
or restauranting. Which
hey,
I like the restauranting.
We talk about everything. That's our byline. You name it, we talk about it.
Yeah.
So anyway, so
we're also it's also the podcast for travel.
Yes, and restaurants
and
opera and whatever.
I mean, you name it, we talk about it.
Yeah. So you have your finger in another pie, don't you? That you wanted to talk about?
Oh, okay. I'm like,
What the hell is he talking about?
Well, actually, it's kind of related. Yes, in Atlanta, one of the things that we've done is we've started an Atlanta chapter of the Horror Writers Association.
There you go.
Which I write. I write horror as J.C. Koch. And I'm in several really cool anthologies, including Secret Guide to Fighting the Elder Gods, which is out now and has my story, Pickman's Daughter, in it. So it's Lovecraftian. And I do write a lot of Lovecraftian horror. I write other horror, but much of my horror is Lovecraftian because...
who doesn't love Lovecraft?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, he one of the things that is great about Lovecraft is that a lot of times I feel very guilty writing in established universes when they're out of copyright and the original creator can't say yes, it's okay. Right. I feel a little guilty when I'm doing like my Sherlock Holmes stuff because I don't know that Doyle would say yeah, that's okay, but I know for a fact that Lovecraft encouraged everybody to write in the mythos.
Exactly.
So I feel zero guilt about doing it because I know he wanted us to. So that's a part of why I write a lot of my horror ends up Lovecraftian because I know he wanted us to.
Right.
And while, yes, he's problematic, everyone is problematic in some way. Shakespeare didn't really like Jews, let's mention. Okay, so you can... the artistic, do you love the art but hate the creator, or do you make adjustments for how someone was back in the day when it was absolutely massively more acceptable to be like that? And I think there's a middle ground in there that I don't think you can crucify somebody for having a view that 100 years ago was the standard view.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I don't think that's fair. That I think you should maybe highlight the people who were more enlightened and understanding, but saying that somebody didn't like this or did that, and many times there's no proof in a lot of it. Okay, where you're just you're blacklisting someone who's been dead for decades, if not centuries, and cannot defend themselves.
Right.
I think you have to look at the art as the art. Because I think most of us are cray in various ways. I am.
Yeah.
7 pen names, let's talk about that, right? Okay, so...
you have a good therapist, though.
It is. Art tends to be very good therapy. It's like... Van Gogh's like the poster child for artists with mental illness. Yeah. So... are you going to say, well, he was mentally ill and didn't get help, so I'm not going to love his art?
Exactly.
You can take all of this to an extreme. So anyway, while I realize that Lovecraft is problematic for a lot of people, I still think it was wonderful that he wanted people to write in the world he created.
Yeah.
And so I write a lot of Lovecraftian. So I'm the president of the Atlanta chapter of the
Well,
Horror
imagine that.
Association.
I wonder how that happened.
Yeah, well,
She came in and took over.
And, it's a really great group. And for any listeners in the Atlanta metro or within driving distance, because we have people coming up from all over the state and from Chattanooga, and I think we've even had some people coming in from South Carolina.
Oh,
so
cool.
We've got people coming in from Tennessee, and so forth. We meet the second Saturday of every month, and we have a Facebook page that you can find, Horror Writers Association Atlanta chapter, Atlanta Horror Writers, one or the other. You can find us. As I can just hear everybody wincing yet. You didn't give the name right. It's like, I'm not looking at it.
Exactly.
But Atlanta Horror Writers Association, there's only
Look
one.
it up.
And yeah, so if you are an author or an aspiring author or want to hang around authors and see how crazy we all are, we encourage people to come. It's usually, you come to a couple meetings, and then if you like the group, you join the organization and come to all the meetings.
Yeah.
So it's very
Nice.
fun. And through that, I have met someone who I am co-writing a new series with. David Simpson, and he writes the Zombie Road series, which I can heartily recommend. First book is Zombie Road, Caravan of Carnage. And he's also just started a new series, Feral Children, and that's out too. Zombie Road has, I think, 6 books in it so far, and Feral Children, I don't remember when book 2 comes out. It might already be out or it's coming. But I would heartily recommend him, and for those who read me as well, you probably want to read David, get his books, because we will be co-writing.
Cool.
And we are co-writing and so forth. So looking forward to that, getting to do something a little different, and it's actually been very, very fun. I've been wanting to co-write, but there's only a handful of people I feel confident that I can co-write with, and David is one of them. So
cool.
It's been a really great experience.
Really
so
cool.
I am going tremendously slower than he does, so he has been patience itself, because I am getting my mojo back in terms of everything, but I'm not writing as fast as I used to. And it doesn't bother anybody as much as it bothers me, but it does. It's tough to take when you're like zoom, and I'm like, I'm a tortoise, you're the hare.
Right.
And I don't like being a tortoise. I'm much happier as the hare. So.
Right.
Well,
I heartily recommend him, and I recommend a lot of the other authors out of that chapter too. Peter Salomon, Tony Zachariah, Matthew Quinn, Mark Monroe. I could keep going. Marlena Frank. We do a book club every month and do a book of the month. And so if you follow me on Facebook, you will see the notifications on that. You get some really great reading in from new authors who write different stuff. And for people who are like, ew, horror, everybody writes horror a little bit differently. Jeff Strand, who's part of our chapter, great writer, he writes horror differently than Andy Davidson, who's also part of our chapter, than David does, than I do, than everybody else. You get a nice sampling, and it's not all, and not everybody's not all blood and gore.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And if you like blood and gore, we have blood and gore. So, we've got everything. So, strongly recommend check us out and find some new reading to keep everybody occupied while Tortoise Girl turns back into Hare Girl. So
nice. So with all that, if you did mention your Facebook presence. If people want to be able to follow you and know, well, shame on you if you're not already. But for any people who are now just discovering you, either through this interview or through other means, how can they learn more about what you're working on at the present time?
What is your social media presence?
Social media presence?
Social media, Gini Koch, Ginikoch, no space. Hairspray and Rock and Roll is my fan page. Author Gini Koch is my other fan page. So I've got a big presence on Facebook. I'm at Gini Koch, again, Ginikoch, no space, at Twitter. I'm on Pinterest. And supposedly I'm on Instagram. But
you are. I've seen it.
Till somebody physically is here who can actually talk me through it for about a week. I'm not. I did one post and everybody piled on. I was all excited, and then I took a picture of my cat that I was trying to post, and after 3 hours and couldn't do it, I said, I can't do this.
Oh,
I
dear.
have no idea what I'm doing.
Oh, Lord.
So I don't have I'm not I am not there. I love reading Tumblr posts, but I'm not on Tumblr. So it's really Facebook, Twitter, and Pinterest where you can find me the most easily and most active. And currently I'm most active on Facebook because it's just the easiest way to reach a lot of people. And I'm wordy, and so Twitter makes it hard for me to get all my thoughts out. But I still like Twitter. I'm trying to think of where else I am. Oh, my website, www.ginikoch.com. And this will shock everybody. We're a little behind on updates.
Really?
I know. Who could believe it, right? So, yeah.
Who knew?
We're a little behind on updating. But you can, it's got contact information, and all the social media links are up there, too, I believe. So you can find me in that way, or find me through TG Geeks, because I do write columns for you guys when I get them done.
And we want to thank you and say happy anniversary to you and to us and all of that for being our very first interview, and then our special guest on our 250th anniversary, or 250th anniversary. Yeah, 250th episode. Yeah.
I buy it. I like it.
Hey, your lawn, get off my kids.
Yeah, we're living forever now.
Listener, first-time caller.
Yeah.
So anyway, I am thrilled that I got to be on A, your first, and B, on 250. I like hitting the milestones with you guys.
Exactly. Well, thank you so much, Jeannie, for talking to us.
Thank you, and hopefully I'll talk to you again soon. Maybe, at 300.
Yeah.
Hi, this is Gini Koch, author of the Alien Katherine Kitty Katt series from DAW Books, part of Penguin Random House, and you are listening to the Two Gay Geeks Webcast.
That never gets old.
It never gets old. And here's a few selected birthdays for December 2nd through December 8th, 2019. My gosh, 2019 is
almost
quickly coming to an end here. We had, let's see, whoops, what happened to, oh my gosh, what happened? I just screwed something up really bad.
Uh-oh.
My cursor was in the wrong place, and then I touched something.
You touched something, and it shot you someplace else.
Yeah. So December 2nd, Lucy Liu, who she's done a ton of stuff, going all the way back to her first role was Beverly Hills 90210. She had a little bit part on that.
Really? I didn't know that.
And she's been in Kill Bill.
Yes.
She has done a tremendous number of Kung Fu Panda things. She was the voice of a character in that. But I think of her finest role was Watson in Elementary.
Oh, I loved her as
her
Watson.
evolution as an actress and as a character was just an amazing thing to watch. Also on December 2nd, Maria Callas, sometimes referred to as La Divina.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, a wonderful opera singer with a very unique, dark tone, chesty tone.
Hers is one of those voices that once you know that's her voice, you will never forget it.
Exactly. Also, Gianni Versace, who was a fashion designer, he was instrumental in bringing fashion into the music scene. He was a friend of Elton John, Cher, Duran Duran, all those wonderful people. He did several costuming pieces for film and just a little bit of this and a little bit of that, and fashion icon. And then he was murdered, and
tragically
his sister Donatella took over the Versace line. So,
and that's a name that we know too.
Yeah, from Ugly Betty.
Right.
Yes. Also, Jonathan Frid.
Barnabas Collins.
Barnabas Collins on Dark Shadows.
The original Dark Shadows.
Original Dark Shadows. And Adolph Green, he and his writing partner of 60 years, Betty Comden, penned screenplays and songs for movie musicals at MGM, as well as Broadway shows. Singing in the Rain was there.
Right.
As well as many other things. December 3rd, Ozzy Osbourne.
I really like him. Really do. I like his music. I do. And I think he kind of got a bum rap at one point because some poor teenager who was not mentally well committed suicide.
Oh dear. But
and I think Ozzy got a really unfair rap on that. I really like him. I like his music, and that first season of the Osbournes was outrageous.
Yeah. And also Brendan Fraser from the Mummy movies, and
now in Doom Patrol.
In Doom Patrol as Cliff. Andy Williams.
Hey, December.
Crooner.
Hey,
crooner.
No kidding. Mr. Christmas.
Mr. Christmas, actually most popular today for his Christmas albums that have been popular for 60 plus years. He had a actual theater set up in Branson, Missouri, and was performing there his regular show as well as all of his Christmas music.
I'm really sorry that I never had the wherewithal to make the trek out there and watch his live show.
Oh, I know. Well, Lynn and John, my sister,
I'm sure they did,
and John have been there many, many, many times. And I remember Andy Williams when
as a kid,
we'd go to my dad's house, and he was always putting on the Andy Williams records, and that was Christmas.
They are a staple of Christmas music, no question about it.
Also, we have birthdays for our friends Edward Pulley and a classmate of mine, Dana Eversole. Happy birthday, Dana. And classmate of yours and good friend of ours, Corey Lynn Nelson.
Birthday, Corey.
Happy birthday, Corey. December 4th, Marissa Tomei. Aunt May. Yes. And Jeff Bridges. What can you say about Jeff Bridges?
Genius actor.
Oh, my gosh. Original Tron, the Tron
film. My goodness.
Oh, my gosh. Just a little bit of this and a little bit of that.
He's been all over the place, but Academy Award winner.
Yeah.
I mean, the guy is such... and he comes from, you could almost say he comes from acting royalty. I mean, you look at his father, you look at his brother. I mean, the guy he's just amazing.
Yep. And also Max Baer Jr. Jethro from Beverly Hills. Beverly Hillbillies.
Not Beverly. Well, he might have been in
Hills of Beverly.
Yes, the Hills of Beverly.
Or from the hills. Beverly that
Hills.
is. And Tony Todd on December 4th. Happy birthday.
Klingon.
Yeah. And among other things.
Well, he's also Candyman. I think that's his big horror breakthrough.
And Dane Quentin Gore, Facebook friend of ours. Happy birthday, Dane. December 5th. Walt Disney.
What else needs to be
Elias
said?
Disney.
Nothing else needs to be said.
Yep. And there was just, it was, I remember my first trip to Disneyland.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Remember our first time to Disney World, and it was it was like the first weekend of December.
Yep. And we were there, and they're actually on December 5th, and we were touring the Walt Disney exhibit.
And we were actually within minutes. We finished watching some film about the history of Disney, and then you realized we were within minutes of the passing of Lily.
Yep, exactly. Also on December 5th, Werner Heisenberg. I'm certain it's his birthday.
But
Noted physicist. Jose Carreras. He was an opera singer. Yes, he actually, Montserrat Caballé was his mentor. He made his operatic debut at age 11.
No. I wonder what role it was.
I don't know. He was singing, all... As a child, he would hear. I think he had seen, what was it? The Great Caruso was the film that he's noticed that and then became an enthusiast of opera. He actually beat leukemia and went on to still have an operatic career afterwards. Yeah, and he founded the Jose Carreras Leukemia Foundation.
Well, good for him.
Also in October, yeah. It was still October.
Yeah.
December 5th, Otto Preminger was a famed director. He explored a lot of controversial topics in some of his films. Drug addiction, rape, homosexuality, and he also was a director of Carmen Jones.
I didn't know
people of color. The whole film was people of color.
Oddly enough.
And the Carmen, yeah.
How do I remember Otto Preminger? As a child, and I remember this still, I can see this in my head. Of course, at that time, you could still get the TV guide, little booklet
right.
that I always talked about. What was coming up the following week, and that was my Bible. Duh. And I remember I was flipping through, and I got to an entry on Batman, and he actually played in one episode or one full story, Mr. Freeze.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that.
And there was a big thing about the fact that it was Otto Preminger playing the part. And so that always stuck with me.
He was also referred to as Terrible Otto.
Oh.
He must have been a
very cantankerous man.
Yes. Also, Frankie Muniz, who was...
Or is it Muniz?
Muniz.
I think it's Muniz.
Malcolm in the Middle, and has also revealed on Dancing with the Stars that he has quite a bit of memory loss, and it's
Yes,
probably
that's so sad.
due to the TIAs, the transient ischemic attacks that
Right.
he's had at age 26.
I know,
he had.
that's so
It's
tragic.
just tragic. Gabriel Luna, who was in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., Terminator, and also played a bit part in Dark Web by our friend Michael Nardelli.
That's right, he did.
Yeah. Also, Fritz Lang, whose groundbreaking film Metropolis in 1927. December 6th, Ryan White. He was the non-gay, non-poor, non-disadvantaged person poster child of the public face of the AIDS crisis.
Yeah, it was tragic. It was a blood transfusion.
Yep, a blood transfusion. He was a hemophiliac and died at age 18.
He changed the face of AIDS.
He did. He changed the face of discrimination against not only AIDS but disabilities.
Right.
So there's quite the Ryan White Act is no non-discrimination against disabilities. So. Also on December 6th, Agnes Moorehead. Endora. And also Tom Hulse, who was Amadeus in, or Wolfgang in Amadeus.
I remember him from Animal House.
Animal House. Yeah. And also a Facebook friend, Andy Luke. Happy birthday. And December 7th, Nicholas Hoult, who played Tolkien. He was in The Current War. He played Nikola Tesla.
Right.
And he was the Beast in the X-Men films.
Yes, he was. I really like the guy.
Yeah. He's awfully cute, too.
He is, and I think he's family.
Jeffrey Wright. He was Felix Leiter in a couple of the Bond films and Bernard in Westworld.
Oh.
And Harry Chapin, who was most famous, I guess, for his Cats in the Cradle song. And I remember hearing about his death on the radio in the middle of the night.
Oh, my.
You know, laying there. He died in a car crash. Car crash? Yes. Also, Gerard Kuiper. Yes, Danish astronomer. He discovered the Kuiper Belt and is considered to be the father of modern planetary science.
Oh.
He actually also was Carl Sagan's dissertation advisor.
Oh, how about that?
Yeah. Also, we have friends, Julie Stiglitz-Regal, a classmate of mine, Darren Anderson in the UK. Happy birthday, Darren. And my grandmother, Mary Lee McStravick O'Neill, and her sister, Mabel Helen McStravick Goins.
Were they twins?
They were not.
But born on the same day.
On the same day.
That is such a rare thing.
Well, we have a number of those in our family.
Really?
Yes, a number of people completely
shared
separate, shared birthdays, as well as we had twins, a set of twins. My uncles Michael and Richard, or Mick and Dick, as they were referred to, and several other people that were my mother and Carol, my cousin Carol, were born on the same day.
No kidding.
You know, several years apart.
Wow,
so
amazing.
We have a number of those in our family. So it's kind of interesting that we did that. December 8th, Jim Morrison of The Doors.
The Doors.
Yes. David Carradine, Kung Fu and Kill Bill fame. Sammy Davis Jr., part of the Rat Pack, big Las Vegas entertainer. And he also sang Candyman and was also always on the Jerry Lewis Telethon every single year. That was Sammy Davis. Yep. Let's see. Diego Rivera. He was. I had Terry Hatcher on here, too. Why didn't I put her in this? I have Terry Hatcher on one list. So Terry Hatcher,
who we actually got to see at Disney's California Adventure. Yeah. She was there for a reason, but she was just walking around with her daughter. And I just walked up and said, I really hate to be rude or anything, but can I take a picture with you? And she was so obliging.
That's cool. Yeah, so and I was not there.
You were in the restroom.
Yes.
And this is right outside the Animators Gallery.
Yeah, in California Adventure. So also Diego Rivera, who was a Mexican painter and partner and husband of Frida Kahlo. Flip Wilson.
The devil made me do it.
Yeah, it was on
It was
Laugh-In.
Geraldine.
And also Geraldine, yes. Maximilian Schell from your favorite movie.
We're not seeing that again.
Black Hole.
No, we're not
Oh,
watching
come
it again.
on.
No!
Oh, shoot.
No.
No. And James Thurber, who was author, playwright, journalist. He's most known to me as the author of The Secret Life of Walter Mitty. Wonderful set of stories. Dominic Monaghan, he was Mary.
Yes, he was very merry.
And Rick Baker, wow, makeup artist extraordinaire. He was the creature guy, if you will, in a lot of films.
Right, and he
a lot
just,
of prosthetics.
He was just interested in the horror genre and makeup and what the career he managed to eke out for himself because of Star Wars.
Yep. And also, we'll close off with Georges Méliès.
The man was a visionary.
He was a stage actor and magician in his early years. Early film pioneer, innovator in doing all kinds of things. He colorized his films one frame at a time. They painted them one frame at a time. He
understood how to edit, to create effects.
Exactly, and to reshoot over
double exposures and all kinds of wonderful things. I mean, wow.
Yeah.
What more can be said? And if you look at any of his films and realize, the quality of his work.
And this was the early 1900s.
Exactly. I mean, the fact that they could make that kind of stuff in the early 1900s, it really is a testament to the genius of the man.
Yep. He was if you don't know who Georges Méliès is, you probably know the classic shot of his of the rocket hitting the moon face in his movie Trip to the Moon.
And, that's the big one.
So that's the classic thing, that shot that you may know.
Yeah, but if you want an entertaining look at the life of Georges Méliès,
fictionalized account.
It is fictionalized, but it's still it's a lovely.
It's
a love letter. It's the movie Hugo by Martin Scorsese.
It's a beautiful film.
Yes,
and it gives some of the history of Georges Méliès.
Not all of it, but some of it. I mean, it's really romanticized, I think, in some ways.
Oh yeah, actually. So, and that is it for the birthdays this time.
Hey, Dad, this is Pinky here. You and I and the brain are listening to Krypton Radio. Sci-fi for your Wi-Fi. Love.
Go give a listen to our friends over at Krypton Radio. It is a 24-hour geeky internet radio station, and they've got lots of different shows, including ours, that they run, and you should go listen.
Yes.
I'm Daniel Radcliffe, and I believe that reaching out for help is the bravest thing a person can do. If you are struggling and need support, call the Trevor Lifeline at 1-866-488-7386. It's free and confidential, and trained counsellors are there to listen 24/7 without judgment. To learn more about the Trevor Project's life-saving work for lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, or questioning young people, go to thetrevorproject.org.
And we got some feedback.
Yes. First, this starts off regarding a visit to the Magic Castle. We did this last year.
Yeah.
And we got
that's
a message.
okay.
Hey, we don't mind. We got a couple of some nice throwbacks that are going to be coming down the road soon. And we got a comment from Peter Ball. He says, "Thanks for sharing the article. This is more informative for us. Very good article." And I'm not sure, but I don't think we saw him when we were there, but I think he has done work at the Magic Castle.
Oh, cool. That was really cool.
Yes. And then this is regarding TG Geeks episode number 245. Got a comment from the birthday girl herself, Corey Nelson.
Hey,
she says, Good interview with Ben Scrivens, who created his Flight Rags clothing business. His story of how he got started was interesting. The business challenges that he came across were relevant to others and also starting an enterprise of their own. Good lessons shared.
Yay.
And then we got a comment for episode 246. We got one from Mrs. Summers. She says, Summers. She says, yay! I loved hearing more about your trip. And this was, we talked about a trip to San Francisco. She says, thanks for the birthday shout out and little story about why we called her Summers. I love listening to your podcast, smiley face, since I don't get to see you often. Well, you will be soon.
Yeah.
I love getting to hear you talk and joke with each other. My favorite Gunkles, heart.
Yay. Thank you, Summers.
Thank you. And then we got a comment from Cynthia Ward from the same episode. She says, thank you very kindly, I believe because we gave her a birthday shout out. She gives smiley face and heart. And then we close this all out with another comment from Ayman Saman. This is also for the same episode. He says, love you both. Keep spreading your magic. Thank you. Next time we're down into LA, we have to see him.
Yeah, we do. That is our comments for this time. You can leave a comment on our Facebook page, or you can leave a comment on Twitter, Instagram, at tggeeks.com on each and every article and or episode that you come across. And we even have a listener feedback line that you can call and leave us a voicemail, and we will play that online, and you can have your 30 seconds of fame. You can call 469-TG-GEEKS, that is 469-844-3357. And as always, please play nice. I want to give a little shout out to Madame Askew's Temporal Entourage. You can look her up on Facebook.
Under that very name.
Under that very name. Madame Askew is a charming and cheeky tea mistress and designer, arranger, and seller of shrubbery. Steampunk regalia. Sorry.
She's a shrubberer?
I got confused there with designer, arranger, and seller. And it just came out, you know. Everything returns to Monty Python.
Yes, it does.
But she sells steampunk clothing. She does all kinds of wonderful things as a seamstress and a costume designer. And just check her out. She also has a Patreon at patreon.com, Madame Askew. And she and the Grand Arbiter have a live tea sessions. They do one on Friday night at 6:30 p.m. Pacific time and Saturday morning at 10 a.m. Pacific time. On Facebook, go to Madame Askew's Temporal Entourage and join them for tea and conversation. And we want to give a shout out. We are huge supporters of independent creators just like Madame Askew. Whether you're filmmakers, comic book artists, writers, or others, please buy their stuff. Please support them. If you see them, talk them up. Talk to other people about them. Tell people about them. Buy their stuff. Have cash for them. Mm-hmm. Please consider supporting independent creators. Joshua Tree Feeding Program, 501c3 nonprofit food pantry for the HIV/AIDS community in Maricopa and Pinal counties. They set their, I was choking there. They set their business up as a store-like thing at the food pantry so that the clients can come in and choose the food that they want. It empowers them to take the food that they want so that they don't just get food and no food is wasted. They are an all-volunteer organization, and you can support Joshua Tree by going to jtfp.org and giving a monthly or a single gift. Support Joshua Tree Feeding Program. If you are trans or are questioning your gender identity, and if you are in crisis or are feeling isolated and need someone to talk to, or you know of someone in a similar situation, there is a special hotline just for you. The hotline is provided by translifeline.org and staffed by trained counselors who are transgender themselves. The hotline in the U.S. is 877-565-8860. In Canada, it is 877-330-6366. or you can go to translifeline.org to learn about the important work they are doing. Please reach out for help. You are not alone.
Yeah, baby. They're like two gay geeks. They're together, you know. They're two gay guys and they're geeks. Is that okay?
So what did we do on this White Friday? Because it was a White Friday.
It was a White Friday.
And a wet one.
Oh, my God. That Thursday night, it started raining and blowing. Violently. And there were 3 tornadoes here in the Phoenix area. And, oh, my gosh, we woke up and it was still raining. And we drove all the way to Tucson. It was still raining. Mm-hmm. And we drove up Kitt Peak and it was snowing.
It was snowing and icy and rocks were falling.
Rocks were falling, yes. We passed by right around noonish. And there were a couple of rocks in the road.
Just in the middle of the left side of the road.
And then on the way down, there was a
big
gigantic
slide.
boulder.
Yeah, a whole bunch of rocks fell down.
Just passed by there. But why did we go to Kitt Peak? What's at Kitt Peak?
Well, a certain astronomer and also author that we know from CocoCon named David Lee Summers.
Yes, and also Kitt Peak National Observatory.
Well, it's an astronomy.
Oh my gosh,
it's astronomy.
It is the largest astronomy facility in the world. They have more telescopes, more space. Oh my gosh, we got a behind the scenes,
really
wonderful tour.
This was a personal tour.
Stuff that you don't get.
People don't get to see.
Yep.
We got to see.
Oh my gosh! And
Keith got photos,
and I have photos. I have pictures.
So it was real.
But it was really good. And we sat, after we toured 2 of the telescopes that David works on, we actually sat down with him at the visitor center in a conference room, and we did an interview with the author, David Lee Summers, and then we also did an interview with scientist David Lee Summers. So, look for those in the future. And then after we made our way down Kitt Peak, and they'd actually, thank God, plowed the rest of the road.
Yeah, the drive down was actually much easier than the drive up.
Oh, yeah. We went and we had some tea with Madame Askew, and then we went out to dinner. We did an interview with her. We did a live tea session with her as well. And
the Grand Arbiter called in.
Yes, that was such a fun little thing. It was just a crazy little thing. But it was a lot of fun. And we look forward to running Madame Askew's interview as well. And that's kind of it that we did for our White Friday.
Yes. So here are some of the things that we ran, actually everything that we ran this last week on our website at tjgeeks.com, and all of these we'll have the links for all of these articles in the show notes for this episode at tjgeeks.com. Starting with Sunday, November 24th, Dr. Zombie, Monster Family Physician, number 76. And then on the 25th, TG Geeks episode number 249. On Tuesday, Andrea had a twofer. First, Andrew's angle, Knives Out. She says it has a killer cast, and that's a movie I desperately want to see.
Yes.
Very, very badly. And she also has a review for Queen and Slim, calling it a powerful journey. On Wednesday the 27th, Ben's breakdown, The Mandalorian. 3-episode thoughts on Season 1. What do I think about that show so far? Check it out. And then on Thursday, we have a lovely little article that Keith wrote. Happy Thanksgiving, and remember to take care of yourself. It is very important that you do take care of yourself for the holidays. Also, Ben's breakdown, Mad About You, the old NBC series, the episode Giblets for Murray. You have to see it for yourself.
You have to see it for yourself.
And then on Friday the 29th, 5 questions with Sifton Tracy Anapair. I hope I pronounced that right. That was something that Hamish Downey did. And then on the 30th, Ben's breakdown, the TV series Frasier, the episode The Apparent Trap. There's a reason we highlight that one. Read the article and find out for yourself.
You can find all these things at tggeeks.com, as well as entries on our Facebook page. Please visit and comment.
Have to give a couple of shout-outs to people who republish our content from time to time. First, the Human Arkle, Brian Weber. He is known as Arkle on Twitter. You can find him at ARKLE, and he puts out the Arkle Times Post-Dispatch News. Like I said, you can find him on Twitter by searching at Arkle. He's also on YouTube, and he has just wrapped the Shameless Cash Grab Season 3. Well, he wrapped it a little while ago.
Yeah.
He wrapped all 20 films. It's a lot of fun. You can check that out by going to youtube.com/Arkle Studios. Also, we must give some shout-outs to a couple of Facebook groups for also allowing us to post our content there. First, Two Gay Geeks After Hours. Big thanks to their moderators for literally telling us, and I do mean literally, they said share away. Their URL is facebook.com/groups/Gay Geeks After Hours. And then to The Gay Geek for also allowing us to share all of our lovely stuff there. And that URL is facebook.com/groups/The Gay Geek. And we must give special thanks to their moderator, Jeremiah Reeves.
Thank you, Jeremiah. And we can be found on Spotify, TuneIn, Stitcher, as well as where other fine podcasts can be found. We're also on Krypton Radio at 3 a.m. and 3 p.m. Pacific Time on Tuesdays. Listen to their other content. Please rate us and review us on iTunes, and don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. We find that people like to listen on YouTube because they can surf the internet, and it'll continue to play in the background. So check that out on YouTube. Okay, that should do it for this episode of TG Geeks Webcast. Be sure to check out the article for this webcast episode. We'll have several links on the page of things we talked about. And remember, you can comment on our Facebook page as well as our website, tggeeks.com. You can leave us a voicemail at 469-TG-GEEKS. That is 469-844-3357. From TG Squared Studios, I'm Keith Lane. Thanks for listening. Please be kind to yourself and those around you. Peace.
Cheers.